Hello my friends, it's Lisa and welcome to a new video. So today's video I'm going to be tier ranking my 2021 bullet journal themes. I do videos where I kind of wrap up at the end of the year my favorite and least favorite books. I do a favorites video of just like various other things that were favorites throughout the years. So I thought it would be fitting to do a video where I talk about my least favorite and favorite bullet journal themes that I did this year. I will say I did not come up with this idea. I saw the channel Plant-Based Bride do this first, so I will have her video linked below as well as Amanda Rach Lee because she has also done a tier ranking video as well, so I just want to give them credit because that is what inspired me to do my own. But yeah, let's just get right into the tier ranking of my 2021 bullet journal themes. I'm actually going to have my journal next to me in case I need to flip through some of these themes. I don't know if I'm going to, but yes, this is my 2021 bullet journal. And let's just quickly go through the different tiers that I have. So the first one on the bottom is disgusting or disgusting. I just have to say it with that accent or with that voice. So as you would expect, the bottom tier are my least favorites, the ones that I either just did not enjoy setting them up, I didn't enjoy the way that they came out, just overall not good. And then the next tier up from that we have meh, just, you know, average, nothing special. They aren't terrible. I don't think that they're my least favorites of the year, but they weren't really that great either. The next tier, the middle tier, is my basic tier. So these were things I'm thinking just maybe weren't super creative. Maybe they aren't bad. I didn't not enjoy using them or setting them up, but they weren't favorites. They're just kind of basic. The second highest tier is proud of it. So these are going to be the themes that may not be like all-time favorites of the year, the ones that I'm like the most proud of, but I'm still proud of the theme or the idea or my execution. I'm somewhat proud of it in some way. I feel like this video is going to be me talking badly about myself and also hyping me up a little bit. We're gonna have a bit of mixed emotions in this video. And then the top tier is my ultimate faves tier. These are gonna be the ones that I just really loved. These were the ones that were fun to set up, I loved using, and by the end of the month didn't want to see them go. But yeah, those are the tiers. So let's just get into the tier ranking. I am going to go in order from, you know, start of the year to the end of the year. I also will have my Journal With Me playlist linked below in case any of these themes stand out to you or you just want to see what the rest of the spreads this month looked like. You can go and check out the full video because I have Journal With Me's up for all of these. So if you want to check them out, I'll have that linked below. But let's get into tier ranking. So obviously the first month of the year is January, which for January I had this like moon phase theme. So this theme, I mentioned Amanda earlier, this theme was definitely inspired by her moon phase theme. I basically just used the exact same thing that she did for her main page, and I also used the same quote that she did because it is a quote from a song from a member of BTS, so I just thought it was beautiful and I needed to use it because I love BTS too. So it wasn't the most creative theme. I think January, I just was so excited to set up my beginning of the year spreads that I got to actually setting up January and I was like, oh, I didn't even think about this. I was just thinking about the beginning of the year spreads. So I definitely wasn't feeling the most creative when it came to my January spreads. I literally just used the idea of Amanda and kind of made it my own. And, you know, a lot of the spreads in the month were different, but I will say, I think I'm going to put it in basic just because it wasn't anything bad, but it wasn't really anything that I came up with on my own. It was copied from somebody else, or not really copied, but I took inspiration from somebody else. I also do want to say this is nothing against Amanda or her themes or her ideas. I love her theme. I think she did a great job. I just, you know, took inspiration from her, so it wasn't anything special for me, and it wasn't anything that I really came up with on my own, and I also was feeling very, like, not super creative, which is why I kind of took inspiration from her theme to begin with, so I'm gonna put it in basic. I don't think my execution of this theme was very good to begin with, but I also just don't think it's the most exciting theme that I did all year. And someone has started to do yard work when I'm filming. It never fails. There's always something, so I apologize if you can hear that. You probably can't, but I can, so I thought I would mention it. Anyway, let's get into February. So February's theme was, I decided to do kind of a Valentine's theme, but not like a typical Valentine's Day theme. So I did this kind of heart-shaped waffle and strawberry theme, and I was really proud of this theme. I saw a picture on Pinterest of, I think it was like a pink heart-shaped plate with a waffle on it, and that's where I got the idea to do the heart-shaped waffles. And it was a theme that I didn't use like any reference pictures. I literally just I don't think I did. I think I just made it up completely on my own. So I was really happy that I was able to be really creative and create these spreads completely on my own, because I do use Pinterest or Instagram or YouTube videos to kind of get ideas sometimes, but this one was just completely made up from this soul brain right here. And I do think, even though I think like the execution of it might have been better, I think I'm gonna put this in ultimate faves. That might be a bold choice. We'll have to reassess at the end of this video. But I do really love this theme. It's definitely one of my favorites that I did. And I think part of it too with the execution is that I'm obviously going to look back on some of these spreads and think, oh, I could do it so much better now. But like a year from now, I might look at the spreads that I'm just doing and think, oh, I could do that better now. I think you're always your own worst critic. And obviously, like over time, you hopefully are going to grow and improve. So I think just naturally I'd be able to do this a little bit better, but I think in the moment I absolutely loved it. I was so proud of it, and I was just so excited to have that really like creative moment where I came up with a lot of the spreads. So yeah, I think this is an ultimate fave. Like I said, we'll reassess at the end. All right, next we have March, which was my honey pot honeycomb theme. I definitely don't dislike this theme. It's just not a personal favorite. I don't think there was anything really wrong with it, anything that I disliked. It's just not really one of my favorites that I did this year. So I think I'm going to put it in meh, maybe basic, meh, basic. I think I'm going to put it in meh. Again, I don't think it's bad. Like, I think it was a theme that I was really proud of, like the doodles and stuff that I did. I just don't know. I just don't really care about it. It's not one I kind of forget that I did this. It's just not one that I think is very memorable, one that I like think about like, oh, that was so good, that was so fun. It just is kind of there. So I think meh makes sense. Next we have April, and where is it? Okay, I found it. This one was my rainbow theme, and I am putting this straight into disgusting. I hated this. Not that I don't love rainbows, and not that I don't love the way a lot of other people have done this kind of theme. It's just the fact that so many other people have done it. It wasn't very creative, and I think this month I was really struggling to be creative and come up with a theme. I originally wanted to do something completely different, and it just wasn't working out. I also know at this point in time, mentally, I was not feeling my best, and it's weird, but even just like looking at that, it brings back the way I felt in that moment. I know it probably is weird to look at like a journal spread and be like, oh, that's how I was feeling in that moment, and like bring back those feelings, but it's weird. I see those rainbows, I'm like, oh yeah, I felt miserable setting up those spreads, and also during the month filling them out. That was one of those months where I just had no creativity. I had no thoughts because I was just mentally not feeling my best. So like the idea of being creative and coming up with these spreads was just really hard. So I just kind of used a lot of inspiration off of Pinterest and things, off of a rainbow theme, and it just required like no effort on my part because I was basically just using reference photos the whole month. And like I said, I wasn't mentally feeling my best when I was setting these spreads up, so it just kind of brings back all of those feelings, and I just don't think it was very good. It wasn't very creative. I think if I wasn't like mentally in a not great place when I did this theme, I probably would have put it in basic because it's not terrible. Like, rainbows are happy. I love rainbows. It's just the fact of how I felt in that moment and how not creative I felt. So yeah, overall, I just was not feeling my best in April, and I think it really translated into these spreads and just made me like associate this with how I felt. So I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's how I feel, so it is going in disgusting. Next we have May, which was my pink cloud theme, and I mean, I was really excited about this theme because I was trying different things. I used my Archer and Olive acrylograph pens, which are basically just acrylic paint pens. I used some of those for the first time. I used actual acrylic paint in my journal, which was the first time I had ever done that. So I was very like experimental, I guess, this month, or like experimental. It's not like the most groundbreaking thing, but for me it was really different from what I normally do. So I think I'm gonna put this in proud of it. It's definitely not like one of my favorite themes that I did all year, but I thought it was really fun to try different things, use different techniques, and I also just love clouds and the color pink, so it was just like a fun theme to look at. But it definitely was one that by the end of the month I was like, okay, I'm ready to move on and look at something different. So I wouldn't say it would be like an ultimate fave, but I was really proud of it and I was really excited to experiment and do different things with it. So yeah, I definitely want to use the acrylograph pens a little bit more. I feel like I've used them in my December spreads, which we'll get to that. And I also feel like using acrylic paint, I would like to do that more. I just think it's so fun. I feel like using just different things other than pens and markers in my journal might be something I want to do in the new year because it was really fun. I think it was fun to kind of plan out and create the spreads. It was very creative. So yeah, I'd say I was proud of that theme. Next we have June, which was my like paint roller theme. So this one was once again inspired by another bullet journal YouTuber. So this one was inspired by Riley Autumn. I'll also have her channel linked below. She creates a lot of really great bullet journal themes, so I highly recommend checking her out. And I just really liked it because it was really simple and I was able to kind of choose a fun color palette. So I like this theme. I don't think it's anything special. Oddly enough, it's my most viewed journaling video, like my monthly setup video, which I think is really interesting. I don't know why that one in particular just really went well. I don't know, but thank you for watching if you've watched it. And once again, this has nothing to do with Riley and her talent and her spreads. It's more so about my execution of it. Yeah, I just thought it was very simple, which is good. Sometimes we like simple, but I don't know. It wasn't anything special to me, but I did like it. So I think I'm gonna put it in a bit basic. But again, that has nothing to do with Riley's talent. I want to stress this. There are so many incredible bullet journal people online that I get inspiration from all the time. This is more so commenting on my talent. Next we have July, which was my Pride and Prejudice kind of scrapbooky type of theme. And I love putting together the more like scrapbook type of themes, how you just kind of print out a bunch of pictures, you layer them, you use washi tape, stickers, all that fun stuff. It's so fun creating the spreads, finding the pictures you want to use, finding the scraps of paper, finding the stickers. It's just such a fun thing to put together. It's not the easiest of spreads for people to watch and recreate. Not that people are like recreating my spreads that I know of, but obviously it's not the easiest for people to recreate, so I don't like to do them that often because sharing them, people don't always have the same supplies or the same stickers or anything, but there's so much fun to put together. And I also love Pride and Prejudice. I thought about doing a Pride and Prejudice theme like months before I actually did it, so it was really exciting to finally do it and have it come out in a way that I liked. So I think I'm gonna put this in ultimate faves. I really enjoyed it. I really liked that I was able to find kind of the first page of chapter 1 and use that as like the title page, and also finding some other iconic parts of the book and being able to print out those pages and rip them up and use them throughout the spreads. And I think just like the aesthetic of what I was going for based off of the book and the movie, it was just very pleasing to look at. This was one of those themes that by the end of the month I was sad that I was kind of done with it. I just really liked looking at it. I don't know, I just love the scrapbook type of feel. So I think this was a favorite for sure. Alright, next month we have August, which this one's going to be a bit tricky, I think. So I decided to do a theme based off of the song August by Taylor Swift. This was another theme that I thought of like months and months before I actually was doing it. I basically just thought of like different things that kind of reminded me of the song, the kind of aesthetic of the song, and I kind of did some doodles throughout the month that were inspired by the song. I put lyrics from it, so it was fun, especially because I love, obviously, Taylor Swift. I love her so much. I did a tier ranking video of all of her songs, and I'm hoping that this video goes over better than that one did. People are angry about some of those choices. Anyways, but August is like one of my favorite Taylor Swift songs. I don't know if I can say it's my favorite because that's too hard, but it's definitely up there. I love it so much. So it was a fun theme because of that, but I think my execution of it could have been better. And it's not just me looking back on it and being like, I could do it better now. I think in the moment, I could have done it better. I made some mistakes. I was trying to rush it. Sometimes filming bullet journal videos, I tend to rush it just so I can get done filming it, but then I end up not really liking the way the spreads come out, which is something that I've learned to not do. I try to just take my time filming it. I typically film my bullet journal videos the past like couple of months. I've done it over the span of a couple of days just because it makes it so I don't rush, and then I like the way the spreads come out. So I think this one I'm going to put it in proud of it because I was excited about the theme. I was proud of coming up with the idea of doing the August month theme based off of the song August. It was just very fitting, and I do like some of the doodles and things that I drew. I just think I could have done it better. I think if I didn't rush it, it would have come out better and I would have liked it more. But yeah, I did really like it. I was really proud of it, and it's just, you know, Taylor Swift. We just love her. Next, we have September, which was my like cozy autumn theme. I just drew a bunch of different doodles that kind of reminded me of feeling cozy, of autumn. There was like fuzzy socks, hats, pies, like baked goods, different things like that. And I really liked this theme. I think I just love autumn and feeling cozy. So it was just really fun to see all those doodles throughout the whole month. And this was a theme that I was very sad to see go at the end of the month. I wish it could have just continued on forever, which like realistically I could do, but I do like to switch it up every month. So I think I'm going to put this in Ultimate Faves. It's definitely one of my favorites that I did this year. I also think just like the themes where there's a bunch of mini doodles, I really enjoy doing. I don't know, the idea of putting together a certain aesthetic, a certain color palette, and having certain doodles that I like to do, I think it's just really fun. I think those are like kind of my favorite spreads to do, or themes to do. So yeah, I think this was one of my favorites that I did all year. Okay, next we have my October theme, which was the Halloween potion bottle theme. And I feel like this is a very basic theme, but I didn't really love it that much, so I'm going to put it in meh. Or just, no, I don't think anything is on April's level. I think it was just meh. I wanted to do a Halloween theme because Halloween, spooky season, it's a fun time. I wanted to do a theme based off of it. So I did this potion bottle type of theme, but I think it was just, I don't know, something about it I just didn't really love. I feel like by the end of the month I was like, okay, I'm sick of looking at these colors. I'm sick of looking at potion bottles. I'm done. So I think if I do a Halloween theme next year, I think I want to think about it a little bit more, not just do like the most basic Halloween thing. Not that there's anything wrong with classic Halloween things. I don't know. It just wasn't very creative, I guess. And I don't know. It just wasn't a favorite of mine, but I don't think it was like terrible. And I think my execution of it was okay. I just didn't really love the theme in general, so I think meh makes sense. Next we have November, which was, I don't even really know how to describe this theme. I was kind of going for like the scrapbook, like picture layered look, but instead of printing out pictures with different patterns, I just drew like the boxes with the different patterns and drew them out myself. I don't really know how to describe it, but it was very autumnal in a different way, I feel like. Sam is sniffing my tripod. Hello, sir. Let's not knock the tripod over, my dude. Anyway, what I was saying is I feel like it was very autumnal, but not in the classic way. Like I didn't use a ton of like warm tones, like the oranges and the reds and yellows. Even though I kind of wanted to do an autumny theme, I kind of went autumn in a cooler toned way. I think the color palette was a little bit more interesting and not what you would typically see in an autumn theme. So I think I get bonus points for that. I liked that I did something a little bit different, but I just don't think it was like the most exciting theme that I could have done. I think it was very simple. I think it's one that you could definitely change up for any season, any color palette. You could do so many different patterns. It's one that's really versatile, but it just wasn't a favorite. So I'm gonna put it in basic just because it was basic. I just drew a bunch of squares and did the same patterns over and over and over again throughout the whole month. But I do like it. I do like the way it came out. It just wasn't anything spectacular or anything that I thought was like, oh my god, this is great. But I did like it. I think basic makes sense. And now we've made it to the final month. I feel like this video has gone by so fast. And that is my December bullet journal spreads, which I just posted recently. So if you want to go and check it out, like I said, all of the videos will be linked below. But for this December, I wanted to do something Christmassy because I love Christmas. I know I feel bad that so many December themes that people do are Christmas-based because not everyone celebrates Christmas. And even if people do, they might not always want to do a Christmassy spread in December or theme in December. But I just love Christmas, so I needed to do it. I couldn't resist. So I did a very kind of a similar thing to September where I drew a bunch of different doodles over and over again, kind of a similar pattern with just different Christmassy kind of doodles. So I did like pine needles or pine tree branches, I guess. I did presents, candy cane, sugar cookies, that kind of thing. I drew like Christmas lights and stuff. I think because it's my most recent theme, I'm like, oh, snaps. Because I feel like a lot of times my most recent theme is the one that I'm the most proud of and the one I like the most, but I think just because it is a theme that is typically a style that I really enjoy, I'm gonna put this in Ultimate Faves. I really enjoyed this month's theme. I haven't obviously started using it yet because when I'm filming this, it's still November, so I'm excited to see how it goes filling out the spreads. I'm excited to start filling up the spreads, and I just really liked the theme. I like doing all the different doodles, and because it is Christmassy, it just makes me so happy. I think this theme kind of has a bit of an unfair advantage because it does have to do with Christmas, and I love Christmas, but I do really like the theme. It was fun to set up and do all the different drawings. I did a Dutch door for the title page, which is something I don't think I did at all the rest of the month. I did do a Dutch door, or did I? I'm trying to think if I've done a Dutch door the rest of the year, and I don't think I have. I don't know. I can't remember. But I think this might have been the first Dutch door thing that I did this year, and it was really fun. I think just doing those different experimental things in my journal just always stand out. And I say experimental, you know, a ton of people do them, but it's just not something that I typically do. So it made it a bit more exciting, and also it was Christmassy, and it had all those little doodles, which, like I was saying, with September, that's just kind of my favorite type of theme I feel like to do. So I definitely feel like this is one of my favorites that I did this year. I'm definitely the most proud of this one, I think. Alright, so that was obviously the last month of the year. So I think I'm just going to quickly look over, see if I want to move anything, but let's just kind of go through the tiers together. So at the top in the Ultimate Fave section, I have February, which was the waffle, heart-shaped waffle theme. We have July, which is the Pride and Prejudice theme. We have September, which was my cozy autumn theme, and December, which was my, like, sophisticated Christmas theme. I don't know what to call it. It wasn't in your face Christmas, but it was still Christmassy. So I think all of those are good. I'm questioning the Pride and Prejudice theme. I'm tempted to move it down to Proud of It because I don't know if I like it as much as I like these ones. I'm going to keep it in the top for now. I'll reassess. Then we have the Proud of It theme, which I have my May, which was the pink cloud theme. And then we have August, which was my theme inspired by the song August by Taylor Swift. I think both of those make sense. For the middle tier, the basic tier, I have January, which was the moon phase theme. I have June, which was the roller paint theme. And then I have November, which was the blocked autumn pattern theme. In the Met tier, I have my March theme and my October theme. I think, like, realistically, I do like my March theme more than my October theme, but neither of them really elicit much of a reaction from me, so I think both of those are good to stay. And then in the bottom tier, by themselves, all by its lonesome, we have the April rainbow theme, which is where it belongs. I think this makes sense. I know I contemplated moving July down, but I think I'm going to keep it. I do really love the theme. I love Pride and Prejudice, and it was fun to fill out throughout the month. I did really enjoy it. So I think I'm going to leave that there, and I think that is the final tier ranking of my 2021 bullet journal themes. But that, I think, is the end of this video. I'd love to know if you disagree, if you agree. I don't know if people are going to have that strong of opinions on this, but I thought it would still be fun to do. Like I said, I do a lot of videos at the end of the year wrapping up my favorite things of the year, my least favorite things of the year, and I thought it'd be fun to discuss my bullet journal themes for the year, my favorite ones, especially because I do want to do more like journaling types of videos on my channel. So let me know if you liked this. Let me know if I should maybe do it again next year. Please let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you agree. Let's start arguments in the comments. I'm just kidding. I don't think people are going to be that upset about my 2021 bullet journal ranking, but we'll see. We'll see. You never know. I didn't think people were going to be that upset about my Taylor Swift tier ranking video, and I was wrong. But I believe that is going to be it for this video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.